Hi, this is Liz McNeil with Keller Williams and the founder of the Houston Senior Living Series. And that's where we are today. We are going to start talking about our seminar that we would have had at the library. Today we're going to be here with Jennifer Salazar, the Better Business Bureau Education Foundation, and she's going to help us with the truth about scams. So we'll start off with Jennifer. If you just tell us a little bit about yourself and about the Better Business Bureau Foundation, Education Foundation.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Liz, and thank you everyone for watching today. So I'm an employee of the BBB Education Foundation. What do? We have different missions. First off, we have a lady in our office named Lily Chu. She goes out to the high schools and educates our youth about credit and what not to fall for as far as scams at that age. And also she talks about like college debt, like loans and things, and how not to fall for those. Then we have another section where we talk about scams and schemes and how to prevent those. Then we have a special grant called the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol, where we go out and talk about Medicare fraud and how to prevent fraud from happening. If fraud does happen, we build those cases and turn them in to the proper authorities.
Okay, so cases on not just Medicare fraud, but other scams as well.
Absolutely. We build all kinds of cases, and then we help people through different scenarios. For example, the grandparent scam, the romance scam, the IRS is not going to come arrest you for not paying your back taxes, things like that.
Yeah, and I think I told you last week when we tried this that just on Thursday, I had 2 calls that were supposedly from the IRS telling me that they were coming to my door. And so it's just so awful to hear that. Even if you know it's not true, it still takes you aback a little, and it's a little difficult.
Absolutely. And the thing with the IRS, Carl, it scares a lot of folks because some of these scammers do a lot of research on their person that they're calling. For example, there's something called Google Earth. You can get on a computer and type in an address, and the computer can show you a picture of that address. It might have been taken a few years ago. So that gives the scammer some leverage. He can actually call you saying, hey, you didn't pay your taxes back in 2015. We're going to arrest you. They know your sheriff's name because they found that on Google as well. And in fact, we're going to repossess that Dodge truck out front because they know you have it because they saw a picture of your home. So they can make it sound like it's really legitimate when it's not.
Right. And so we've got the IRS scam, like you mentioned, the others, the grandparents, the romance. What are some of the ones that you're seeing today that really affect our audience who we're talking about? Everyone.
Absolutely. One thing about scams, Liz, is scammers love to take something real and turn it into a scam. And what are we all watching right now on the news? The coronavirus. In fact, Houston just has a work from home order. So everybody is consumed by this virus. Well, unfortunately, scammers take something real and turn it into a scam, and they're doing that right now with this virus. What they are doing is they are calling folks saying that we have a vaccine, or we have a cure, or we have these pills, or even a toothpaste. They're even advertising a toothpaste that can wipe away the coronavirus. We just need your Medicare number, or we need a credit card payment. Right now, there is no cure for this virus, period. And not only that, never give your Medicare number, your Social Security number, or your bank information over the phone if somebody calls you, period. There's also people going around neighborhoods giving flyers to in the mailboxes, on doorsteps, knocking on doors, saying that someone in your neighborhood has the coronavirus. If you'd like to purchase medical masks, sanitizers, call this number, or they'll come to your door trying to give you that. That is also a scam. Another one, unfortunately, is people are dressing up like the Red Cross going door to door. That is a scam. So many scams are happening. Also, as we all know, we don't get political, but Congress and Senate and the president are working on a package right now to help the American people through this crisis. And another scam onto that one is, and we got this in our office yesterday, as a matter of fact, a lady called us saying that if she did not fill out her U.S. Census, that she would not get a stimulus check. That is a scam as well. See, they're taking things that are real, and turn it into a scam. Like the census scam, that's a big one right now because the census is coming out in 2020 this year, and everybody's starting to participate in that. But right now, Liz, we're seeing a lot of coronavirus scams, especially price gouging. For example, my grant, the Senior Medicare Patrol, covers the whole state of Texas. We got reports yesterday from Mission and Far, Texas, which is by the borders, very south, and they were charging $9 for eggs. That is price gouging for a dozen eggs. Yes, ma'am. So we work with the Attorney General's office in the whole state of Texas. We work with all the captains, and we've already turned that in. The Better Business Bureau works very closely with the Attorney General's office and other law enforcement entities. So you can always call us, and we can get all of that turned into you immediately.
Okay, so how would they call you?
They would call us on my number, my office number, and that is 713-341-6184. 713-341-6184. I am, as you can tell, I'm working from home, but all of my calls are being forwarded to my cell phone, and we can still do everything we can in the office at home, and because we want to keep everybody safe. Everybody safe. We've canceled all of our speeches across the whole state of Texas, which is sad, but that we're grateful for folks like you, Liz, that will allow us to do interviews with you and get it out to all of our greatest generation and folks out there. Real quick, if you don't mind, I'd like to talk about the census scam.
Please do.
Because we're getting a lot of scams on that one too. So the U.S. Census started in 1790, and this year is very unique because for the first time in history, you have 3 options to do your census. You could do it by phone, you can do it by computer, or you can fill it out. Unfortunately, scammers know this, and they've already started the scams. What they are doing is they are calling folks saying that this is the United States Census, we can do your census. Now, your census only has 9 questions. And in those 9 questions, they don't ask for your social. They don't ask for your Medicare. They don't ask for a payment, period. And what these folks are doing when they call you, they're asking for your Medicare number, your social. Don't ever give that personal information. They'll ask for how many people live in your household. They're not going to ask for those personal numbers, ever. We're seeing a lot of that. We're actually seeing, and it's only March, Liz, we're seeing election scams. We're already seeing election scams, and we don't get political, okay? But what we're seeing with the election scams is somebody will call you from a campaign headquarters. We'll call it Daffy Duck for president, okay? So Daffy's campaign will call you, and Daffy will say something, and even the candidate himself will call you. Look at that. And he'll say, will you please contribute to my campaign? We just need a donation of $50. If you want to make a contribution to a campaign, it's important to contact that campaign. Don't let them call you because it might not be them. And there's something called spoofing. Spoofing is they can change your caller ID to any phone number they want. And it can have any title, for example, Medicare, Social Security, the IRS. It's not them, I promise you. It is not them calling you. And these campaign people are calling for donations. That is not true. That is not true. You need to call them if you want to contribute. If you contribute online, be very careful. Make sure it's their official website. Don't click on an email that goes somewhere else, because that could be something called phishing. Not the kind of phishing I like to do, but a phishing email where they're trying to load a virus to your computer. Also, you don't have to pay to vote. They're even targeting our 18-year-olds. They're calling folks that are turning 18, saying that you now have the right to vote. We can go ahead and get that information. We just need a payment of $5. You do not have to pay to vote. Everybody in this country, 18 and older, can vote unless you're in prison. So another scam real quick I want to mention, because this one's pretty hot right now, is phishing emails. It's been around forever, and now they're back, especially with the coronavirus. That's when you get an email and it looks legitimate from like your bank or like from an organization, but you click on it and it loads errors and viruses to your computer. The problem with that also is the scammers are so good that they can actually log your keystrokes. And what that means is they can figure out your passwords. So for example, if you've gone to your banking page, your banking homepage, and you type in your passwords, scammers can get that information. So do not click on anything you do not recognize. Don't click on any pop-ups. Do not click on anything that says, if you want to endorse this person, click this. If you want to load money to your bank account, click this. Here's a big one. GoFundMe accounts for coronavirus victims. When in doubt, check it out. Call us and we can verify that, because there's a lot of those going on. Some are legitimate, some are not legitimate. So we try to verify those. But be very, very cautious, because this is your money. You worked hard for it. And not only that, in America, who do you think falls the most for scams? It's not 60 and older. It's actually 18 to 25-year-old males. They fall the most, but they lose the least. But people that are 60 and older fall the least, but lose the most. Because like your Medicare number is worth at least $40,000, but not to you. To the scammers, it's that easy to fraud the system. Also, your social. You could do medical identity. You could take out credit. You could take out loans. Please guard your information. And Liz, if anybody does give out their information, please, 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 please call us. Don't be embarrassed. Your call is confidential. It's at no cost to you, because we're a federal grant. You paid for this service. You need to use this service. It is what you have paid for already. It doesn't cost anything at that time. And don't feel like you're going to be judged, and don't feel like you're going to be in trouble. We are here to help you. And I am going to advocate for you, and so is my staff. That's what we do. We are here for you.
That's great. I'm having some audio problems, so I think when this recording comes out, it's going to sound kind of funny, but that's okay. I just had some feedback. But I like the way you said that about, if it happens to you, don't be embarrassed, because we all rush and do things and
Absolutely.
turn a corner and we make a decision, and something happens, and then this is where we are. So I really appreciate you saying that there's no reason to be embarrassed. It happens.
No, absolutely not. Especially at this time.
Right.
Especially right now, because everything is so chaotic, and scammers know that. And scammers are so bad, they're going to wait till like 5 a.m. before you've had your I have to have my 2 cups of coffee before you have your coffee and everything, and they're going to try to scam you. They're going to try to scam you, and it is very, very unfortunate. One thing on the grandparent scam, if you don't mind me bringing that up, the grandparent scam, everybody knows about the grandparent scam, but there's a twist on it now, Liz. For example, when you get a call, it can actually sound like your real grandchild, because scammers now have the technology. If your grandchild ever posted a video on like YouTube, on Zoom, on Facebook, any type of recording, the scammer has the technology to take their voice, and they have a like a type of device that can mimic it. And so when they call and they say grandma or grandpa, it sounds like your actual grandchild, and they're asking for money. They're in a dire situation. And scammers also do their research. For example, one of my volunteers with the Senior Medicare Patrol in Amarillo got a phone call, and she really thought it was her granddaughter. Sounded just like her granddaughter, and her granddaughter is becoming a veterinarian. And so she got a call in the middle of the night, and she said, Gigi, because she's a cool grandmother at 87. She doesn't go by grandmother or grandpa. She goes, or Grammy, sorry. She goes by Gigi. And she said, Gigi, I'm finally in Africa doing my residency, and I've been bitten by a black, and then you hear a doctor on the phone saying she's turning blue. She's turning blue. We need $5,000 for the anti-venom. She's been bitten by a black mamba.
Oh my goodness.
Which is a deadly snake. But my volunteer knew this could possibly be a scam, even though it sounded like her granddaughter. She said, what's my code word? You need a code word. I have a code word for my kids. I have a code word for my husband. My grandmother, we change hers every 6 months, because you want to make sure you change your code word. But the thing about my volunteer, her granddaughter's on all this social media stuff. So the scammer knew the grandmother goes by Gigi. The scammer knew that she dreams of going to Africa. She hasn't made it there yet. And he knows that she is becoming a veterinarian. So he knew all of that and was able to scam. We see a lot of this during spring break time too, because people post, we're going to Mexico or we're going to Colorado to go skiing. They know this. They home in on this. But if you could have that one simple thing called a code word, it can save you. It can truly save you.
That's great. Well, we appreciate this, you doing this and taking your time to continue on your education. And if somebody does have an issue, how do they contact you?
Yes, it's 713-341-6184. Please feel free to give us a call. We're there to help. We're not judgmental. And we take our time. We're patient. I'm not going to rush you off the phone. Now, we are working from home, so please leave a voicemail, and I'm pretty good about getting back to you within 24 hours or less. And please, at this time, when in doubt, check it out. Don't be embarrassed to call us. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Like I always say, nothing in life is free but your mama's loving. Please be careful during this time. And right now, they're playing on our fears. And this is a very serious thing. This is a very serious thing. But we need to follow the direction of our local officials and our officials, and we don't need to wait for somebody to call. Now, the CDC, our local officials may call you if you've been exposed to this virus, but they will never ask for your Medicare number, your social, your bank account. They will never ask for that. You may get a phone call from a public official or somebody telling you you've been exposed, but they will never ask for that information. And again, when in doubt, check it out. I had 2 of those calls yesterday. 2 people were called by officials saying you may have been impacted. We checked them out. They were both legitimate. Please don't be embarrassed to call and check it out. And the officials understand. If it's a real official, they will understand you saying, I'd like to check this out first. They encourage that because of scammers.
Right. Well, that's great. It's such good information. And I just, again, appreciate you doing this. And if anybody has any questions when you're watching this, you're more than welcome always to call Jennifer and her team. And you can also call me if you have any questions about anything. If you need some help, you need anything, need a referral for something, you know that. You can always call me at 713-826-2731. Thanks again. We appreciate it. You have a great day.